This is where I pee my pants.
Hello, Internet world. Today, I have blood in my veins because I bring you something really, really special. So special that I'm going to let our guest, the 2020 Ferrari 812 Superfast, introduce itself. I want to give a big thank you to one of my viewers, Tim, for letting me borrow this car and do a full review on this 2020 Ferrari 812 Superfast. So this car makes 789 horsepower, and it's so close to 800, so I'm going to call it 800 horsepower from now on, because you're going to hear me say that a few times in this video. Now I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking that other cars make close to that kind of power, but those cars are supercharged, turbocharged, or twin turbocharged. This is an athletic, clean-eating, 6.5 liter, naturally aspirated V12 that puts out almost 800 horsepower. That revs to 9,000 RPM. This is the most power Ferrari's put in any front engine vehicle they've made in the last 70 years. This is a rare car. When people think supercars, they generally think 150 to 200 in terms of price. However, this has a starting price of 330,000 US dollars. And for the Canadian Australian friends out there, that's a starting price of $450,000. And you can equip it all the way to $600,000. $600,000, or for the American friends, that's $450,000. So if you want to play, you gotta pay. This aggressive styling has a new air management system that Ferrari's put in this car to allow this car to get to 340 kilometers an hour or 212 miles an hour. To keep this car planted on the road, this vehicle has drift differential. Yeah, drift differential, specifically designed to drift. But not only that, it's got rear wheel steering and a full torque electric power steering. Just try to figure this. Oh, there it is. There. Oh, I got it. Yes. Whew, that is very light. Whew, look at that masterpiece. That is tightly fitted in there. This is a very long car, but that is very tightly fitted in there. When somebody spends this much money, they want to have all the details tailored to them. So stuff like chassis number, Ferrari everywhere, paint color. This is a wide, low to the ground car. I mean, this car is super low. So since this is my first Ferrari, all this stuff is new. So I can't take any Audi perspective from a Ferrari. So all the real Ferrari guys are probably gonna give me so much hate online. Stuff I do like and stuff I don't like. As far as exterior goes, there are a lot of hood cutouts. There's 4 of them. Do we need 4? I think 2 will suffice. Headlights. For a Ferrari, you would think there's some sort of detail in the headlights that would say Ferrari, or something a little bit more than just 6 LEDs and a projector LED. This car is a very long, wide car, but I would like to see the hubs stick out a little bit more. I just noticed that the wheels stick in a little bit too much. Look at this back end and how aggressive this is. This is where the money is spent, in my opinion. This looks like an angry mosquito sporting a Darth Vader mask, holding 2 shotguns. When this car was launched in Australia, there was so much demand that they sold out for 5 years of production plus 50%. That is crazy. There is so much demand for this car, that tells you either people have way too much money or Ferrari does things to perfection and people just want that. One thing I can complain about is that. A keyhole? Really? Something different from the Germans. When you open up a German car on a frameless window, the window goes down a hair, but this thing goes down quite a bit. This trunk lid is 100% carbon fiber. I don't know it, but I can feel it. This is like beauty. Just everything about this car is so like expensive. So every Ferrari comes with a personalization, specification, build sheet under the rear parcel shelf, like you see here. In terms of trunk room, there's a lot of trunk room in this car. Compared to an R8 or any sort of other supercar, there's a lot of room here. And not only that, I know it's kind of annoying that you have to step over this rear trunk to get stuff in, but there's a lot of depth, which you don't have in a lot of other supercars. This is the stuff I love. It's checking out the toolkit. This is the stuff I love. Show you what kind of fuses you get. It's got an air compressor. So for flats, you just put the spray in, you fill it up, and you have a Ferrari. I'm not sure what kind of Ferrari piece this is, but I'm excited to open this thing. Okay, I'm scared if I open it up I can't put it back. That's the problem. Is it a Knight's? Oh wow, they're little cleaning pods and gloves. Oh, you get gloves in your Ferrari. They're Ferrari gloves. Fancy, a left and a right one. Whew. All right, so I'm in the Superfast now on the inside of the car, and the cockpit is totally different than what I'm used to driving. So in the R8, the first thing I noticed, the R8 seats are a lot softer. These seats are tight, but this cockpit is beautiful. It's got the wet sport race CT and ESC off. It's got the engine start and stop. It's got your suspension. It's got your washer fluid, your high beams, your turn signals. Everything is located on the steering wheel. And one piece that you can't see that's on the steering wheel, but I can see it, is it has a full rev meter built into the front, the upper carbon piece. So when you're shifting gears, you don't have to look at the RPM. You just look forward and you see these LED lights come on. And when you got to shift, you shift. That's pretty slick. The air vents in this car look like rear jets. It is crazy. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking I'm sweating just like Doug DeMoro, but there's something about this Superfast that's making me sweat. The HVAC controls are very easy. You can adjust the temperature up and down by rotation of a knob. As far as volume, it's very simple. It's all easy read buttons, the home button, all very easy. As far as the dash code, it does have an analog rev meter. There's nothing digital about it. On the left side of the cluster, there's a lot of digital pieces on there. That makes it easy to read. So if you want more information, you can adjust the left side and the right side. But who's looking there, really? You're sitting, you're driving, and really, that's what it's about. There's a lot of digital where there needs to be digital, and a lot of analog where there needs to be analog. One thing I will say, to bring cars into the US and Canada, they have to put a warning label. And in order to put the warning label, they have to stitch it on the back. Why? Damage this car? There's a full Alcantara or suede headliner in this car. You've got crested headrests, and you've got wide seats. The cup holder can open in and out fairly easily. And in the bridge of the control on the center console, there are 3 buttons: reverse, auto, and PS. This is a direct competitor to an Aventador. However, that was designed with extreme supercar in mind, whereas the A12 is designed to be a GT, sort of a cruiser of sorts, with this long frame, roomy interior, lots of trunk space. They even have a luggage strap in the back where you can put straps on the back and tie your luggage down. So you see, the Aventador also comes in Superfast, except it's not called Superfast. It's called Superveloce. So you got to think in the room when Ferrari was thinking about, let's build a sweet, crazy, fast 800 horsepower monster. What do we name it? We'll call it the A12. And you know what? We're better than Lamborghini, so let's call it the Superfast, because, you know, we're better anyways. So that's usually how Italians are. They'll just tell you to their face that we're better, even though they're fighting against other Italians. So Superveloce for your Lamborghinis, and Superfast for the Ferraris. Now, everything can be used through the steering wheel. So not only is the buttons in the front, so you have your indicators left and right there, and you've sort of got a 2-push. So if I push it slightly, I have a left. If I push it all the way down, it's a full left. And if I want to cancel it, I assume I push it there again. There we go. That cancels it. So let me show you the LED lights I was talking about earlier here. So when I shut the car on or off, it tells me that I'm in an 812 Superfast, and it tells me I'm in a Ferrari. And when I put the car on, or the ignition on, these LEDs pop up. On the back of the steering wheel here, there's more adjustments. So you can adjust your volume here, you can adjust the track, and a few other options on the back here. So everything's really in the steering wheel. That's why there is no real center console besides the 3 buttons I talked about: reverse, neutral, and Potenza Sportiva, which is launch control. So they put launch control as Potenza Sportiva, but they put Superveloce as Superfast. So we're thinking you've got English as Superfast and Italian as Potenza Sportiva. Everything in this car makes you feel like you're in the world's greatest supercar. There's a lot of stitching, a lot of different materials. There's a mix of materials that all blend well together. But here's a funny one. On the right side, I can pivot over and change different features, which is super handy, super easy. So I've got a speedometer, I've got the radio, I've got the media, the navi, the phone, and the settings. So we'll dig deep in the settings and go to extra languages. And when I go to extra languages, I've got default, which is American. I've got Korean and Portuguese, but no Italian. Like, where's the Italian and where's the English? Why is there just American? I just love all the white and black, different contrast leathers they put, but they put it in small selective places. Now, I'm not sure if the white leather is here because the car is white, and if it was a red car, there'd be red leather, or if the car is blue, there'd be blue leather, but there's a lot of white stitching that goes across on the inside, just under the Ferrari logo right here, or the Ferrari writing right here. There's all these white pieces that are so nice to see. There's so much detail. So even on the passenger side here, there's a full control. So you can adjust lots of things, and the clarity of this LCD panel is awesome. Come take a look at it. You can see your engine mode, you can see your RPMs all the way from 1 all the way up to 9,000 RPM. Not only that, you've got a stopwatch, you've got media, so you can adjust your media. You've got Navi, Performance, and VDA. So VDA tells you what sort of mode you're in. So right now you're in CT off, and it tells you at what bar. This is like a video game right in front of you. All right, so I'm inside the Superfast here. I'm gonna do the test and see if this bottle fits. And yeah, she fits. So it's always funny to get acclimatized in different cars, but so when I put my seatbelt in, I noticed that the seatbelt around the plastic piece of the seatbelt is wrapped in red leather, so it doesn't knock from side to side. As far as brake feel feels, it's definitely more firm than the Audi R8. Excited to drive this puppy, that's for sure. All right, guys, so to put this car into gear, you actually have to hit the throttle's a little bit funny. Like, it's very soft and gentle off the line. And the hood is very long. Whew. Okay, let me put Bumpy Ride on. I'm gonna take, right now it's in CT, so I'm gonna put it into Sport. And it's got start and stop. It just died, and I had to be like, what is going on? But it's got start and stop, and I don't know why people just sweat in driving Ferraris, but so it's got start and stop, and I'm gonna just put it in race mode here, because maybe that gets rid of the start and stop. Or maybe I should put the start and stop. I don't know if there's a start and stop button, but it should keep starting and stopping. So all right, no music, just sound. So the speedometer of this car is very large on the left side. So the analog gauge and the speedometer on the left is very large. So there you will know exactly the speed you're driving. As far as attention, there we go. I just got a thumbs up. So the start and stop actually activates a lot sooner. So I was doing about 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour there, and the car shut off a lot sooner. I didn't have to come to a full stop to have the car shut off. It just shut off by itself. But I'm still kind of getting used to it. There's a lot of room here. There's a lot of great visibility in the back. Blind spots are awesome, as in there's a lot less blind spots in this car than there is in the R8. This actually looks like it would be a good 2+2 or a 4-seater in the back, but they opted to put the luggage compartment in the back just by the looks of it. But it's a very roomy, full 2-seater here. Let me just put it into, I'm gonna leave it in race mode and not CT off. I've been in a few different Lambos, and this car is definitely more comfortable than an Aventador. It's not as smooth and not as comfortable as an R8 at the moment, and that, as I said, is probably because I'm in race mode. But this car is so wide, like it's so wide in the front, and it's just so monstery, I'm sure. All right, so now I'm at 3,000 RPM, 4th gear, and I'm gonna pin it here. Oh, just the sound is so meaty. It's just crazy. I think this car is really more designed to be driven with the paddles as opposed to just an automatic, because these paddles are huge and they're just, it's real aluminum or something really fancy, but it's just amazingly amazing. Oh my God, so much power. This car is a monster. So under acceleration, I hit 2 little red bars, and there's like 8 of them. And at that point, I was like 5,500 RPM. I can only imagine
I need this car. I need this car longer term for me to really feel the power. So we're gonna try to get to 3 bars here, or 4 bars, and see what that does. But as a driver, you don't normally feel your blood being pulled back from your toes, but I just felt it at that very light throttle response. Like, I don't get anything like that in the R8. Nothing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good times. This is where I pee my pants. And anyway, so... Alright guys, so we're second, we pin it. Oh my god, there's so much power. I can't even get to 7,000 RPM. This is just way too much power. This thing is ruthless. Okay, full throttle in 4th gear. So that's the only way I can tolerate this car with this much power. I have to be in a higher gear, and that's the only way that you can really tolerate the performance in this car, unless you have an open road. And unfortunately, even with open road, the maximum speed I have is like 60 miles an hour, and that is nowhere close to fast enough that this car needs. Okay, I'm at 5,000 RPM, and I feel like I'm gonna blow this thing up. And I'll pin it right here. Oh my god, oh my god! So under full throttle, 3rd gear, 4,500 RPM, the car just plows like a train. A little bit of drift control, because it has a drift differential. But man, this thing is just unreal. I mean, I just want to hear what this thing sounds like outside of like 7,000 RPM. It's just beastly. This has to be on somebody's list as a dream car to drive at least once in their life. I mean, it is crazy. Look at this key. I didn't show you this key. Look at this key. This key's beautiful. Hold on. Big shout out to Tim for letting me review this car. Really nice of him, man. This is something, you know? I'm gonna save all my pennies up to buy one of these things. I feel like I'm so used to these seats. They're definitely wide, so I mean they're definitely wide for all types of people. As far as headroom, there's lots of headroom here. It's probably a little bit shallower. I think my seat's all the way up. The one thing though is when I'm adjusting the seats are so wide that the door panel and the seat are to have like this much of a gap. So for me to fit my hand and change the seating position while I'm driving is pretty much impossible. You kind of have to pivot your hand from the back and slide forward. And the actual control buttons to move the seat are very small and skinny. But then you have this really big rear view mirror that has HomeLink in it, which I guess would maybe be an after install when it comes to the US. I think because European cars generally don't have HomeLink from what I gather. I just love how the throttle actually self-regulates. When I'm, like right now, I'm at a traffic light in 1st gear, I let go of the brake and I'm not moving at all. Not moving at all. So this 7-speed transmission does a great job in terms of me depressing the throttle. So when I hit the throttle here and I hit it about a quarter, it's a pure manual transmission. This transmission is a pure manual transmission, not like the R8. The R8 is a manual transmission, but it's more of a manual transmission in shifting gears. But this one's like a manual transmission at the start. When I put it in drive, it doesn't go anywhere. And I hit the throttle about a quarter, and it doesn't really go anywhere until I actually like get to a quarter. So like the first bit of it actually doesn't really do anything until I actually get it, and it's so soft. But then once I'm moving, that throttle actually engages. Right now, oh yeah, for sure. So now that exact same position can get me at red line. So it like self-regulates in that respect. So man, this is just crazy. So 1 bar. Oh my god. Oh my god. It goes from 5,000 blast to 8,000 and holds there, and then I gotta shut up and just drive this car, man. And the downshifting is like instant and aggressive, but not like my body's not moving though, but my ears and my feeling in the car, I can feel it all, but my body is not getting hit like some of the old like single clutch cars where your body's jerking back and forth. This thing is calm, collective from a body perspective, but from a rush and a thrill perspective, it's on another planet. All right guys, well I hope you liked that review of this 812 Superfast. This has definitely blown my mind, and now I understand why they call this thing Superfast. They should have called it Super Duper Stupid Fast, in my opinion, because it is crazy. It sounds awesome, it looks phenomenal. It's a beast through and through. Thanks guys for watching, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.